What's good, everybody? What's good? Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day so far. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Oh, shit. Let me go turn this fan on. Hold on. No. We don't want that. But happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's week is going great so far. Obviously, we saw the conclusion of the NBA Finals last night. And, here we are. We're waking up to a new NBA champion. And, so thank you guys for hanging out with me. And welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. As always, it's your host, your boy, Jayson Estrera, and the Boston Celtics are your 2024 NBA champions. Now, for as boring as this series has been, it definitely ended by giving us some spicy topics to talk about. It ended with, I saw a lot of people debating about it online. A lot of people were arguing over it. I was in utter shock. I was in absolute shock as to how that went down at the very end of of that series. But first, we are going to get into this right here. Let's see. So I think it was, I'm pretty sure this was this morning. So supposedly, this guy Jay Williams straight up snitched on JJ Redick. Let's take a look right here. This shit also sounded real loud.
I feel like the two franchises couldn't be further apart. Like, I really do feel that way. I feel like Boston right now is set up to win multiple championships over the next several years with their young core. And I feel like you have the Los Angeles Lakers that are trying to figure it out with JJ Redick, a first-time head coach. We wish them all the best of luck.
Let's run that back in case you... All right, we should max the volume out on.
Head coach with JJ Redick, the Los Angeles Lakers that are trying to figure it out with JJ Redick, a first-time head coach. We wish them all the best of luck with LeBron James in his twilight years. Granted, they're still there. They still have a chance to contend, but, you're going to give the edge to Boston in a really big way.
And obviously, the big part of that little statement he was making with regards to the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics is JJ Redick as their first-year head coach. Now, I had to look online if JJ or the Lakers have announced anything, but as far as I'm concerned, it has not been announced anywhere. So this is news to everyone, probably including JJ Redick and the Lakers, who were definitely not expecting to have this come out. So, Jay Williams, obviously speaking rather candidly, has been such a great analyst for ESPN for years, was a great college player. And I think he did a little bit of a leak right there. I'm not going to lie. I think he leaked a little bit, which leads me to the fact that the LA Lakers must be pissed the fuck off today. Not only do the Boston Celtics now have more NBA championships in their organization compared to the Lakers, but last night was the 16-year anniversary to the day of the last time the Boston Celtics had won an NBA championship against the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Lakers have to be pissed because it was probably a month ago when Rashad McCants had, spoken rather confidently about JJ Redick becoming the new head coach of the LA Lakers. This was before the playoffs, I think, or at the very start of it. And ever since then, everything has kind of snowballed, right? The talk about Bronny going to LA kind of slowed things down a little bit. The LeBron talk kind of slowed things down a little bit. However, the focus quickly shifted itself back to JJ Redick and the LA Lakers. And y'all already know this. My belief is they used Dan Hurley as a sacrificial lamb to divert attention away from JJ Redick becoming the new head coach of the LA Lakers. And that's all that was. And an organization that was covering headlines right before, up until game 1 of the NBA Finals, they really tried to take some of that shine away from the Boston Celtics. The LA Lakers did. Like I said, by dominating the headlines. And even in the finals, Dan Hurley news had come out, right? And even though the Lakers had stolen the headlines, before and during the finals, the Boston Celtics are the ones that have the last punchline, which is that they have more championships than you guys. They won on the date of their last championship, which they beat you guys in. Oh, and we're not going to forget the fact that LeBron James casually announced that all of Laker Nation is basically rooting for, or was basically rooting for, the Dallas Mavericks in this finals. So there's a double whammy on that. And we were joking about the Celtics, losing game 4 on purpose, but this really does put salt in the wounds. This really does add insult to injury when you think about not only did the Celtics win, but it's as if they gave up game 4 on purpose because of how easily they won last night. Like, they weren't even trying in game 4. It's as if they wanted to win on their home floor. They wanted to rub this into the Lakers. And yeah, the Lakers just got to be having a rough day right now. Magic Johnson had even tweeted something about not being too happy with regards to how everything to the championships not being tied anymore and whatnot. I'm sure they were hoping that the Celtics lost this year, but obviously that didn't happen and that wasn't going to happen. So yeah, the Lakers have to be pissed off today. They're going to announce JJ Redick as the new head coach sooner than later, but they don't get to announce it the way that they wanted to. They don't get to roll it out the way that they wanted to. They were probably planning content. They were probably planning some kind of an announcement, and all of that has been thrown out of the fucking window. And then on top of that, now you have to deal with the fact that the Boston Celtics get to rub it in your face that they just won another championship, and you have to deal with that all summer. Oh, and not to mention the fact that LeBron is getting older. Now you're forced to draft Bronny instead of a different prospect. Yeah, the Lakers are just in shambles right now, so good luck to those motherfuckers, because they're going to need it this summer. Yeah. Good luck to those guys. So, as we've already been discussing, the Boston Celtics are the 2024 NBA champions, right? And they did it by winning in Boston 106-88 against the Dallas Mavericks. They did this behind their superstar, Jayson Tatum, who had 31 points, 11 assists with 8 rebounds and 2 steals. He shot 11 of 24 from the field, only 1 of 7 from 3, but was 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Jaylen Brown, his running mate, another superstar, came out and got 21 points. Superstar-ish. We'll get into that later. 21 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. Shot 7 of 23 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. for the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic gave you 28 points with 5 assists and 12 rebounds to go with 3 steals. He also had 7 turnovers, by the way. And he shot 12 of 25 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3, 2 of 5 from the line. And Kyrie Irving added in 15 points and shot 5 of 16 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line to go with 3 rebounds, 9 assists, and 1 steal. So let's take a look at how this worked itself out for the Boston Celtics, I should say. God damn, that's loud.
They're 1 of 8 to start. Horford wide open. Doncic has missed his first 3 shots. Stops, gets inside, draws the foul. Shot clock at 7. Doncic trying to create.
This was pass, incredible by Kyrie. Like, what the fuck?
But to me, it's his reaction time out of the drop, which is being on display here. The lack of it.
Jaylen Brown. Stolen by Tatum. Tatum goes up and lays it up and in.
Night and day from game 4. I totally agree, Doris.
Kyrie Irving on. Tatum guarded by Lively. Finds Jaylen Brown. Knocks down another. In there for the Celtics. Tatum gets past Lively. Goes inside the layup. Bank shot. It's good. And the foul. Derek White launches. Can't get it. Ball tipped and Hauser comes up with it. Tatum on the drive once again, gets to the rim. Ball knocked loose. Look at White dive on it. Saved by Horford. Here comes Brown. Brown goes up. Layup is good. Tatum goes inside. Flips it out. Brown, 3-pointer. Puts it in. Now puts it on the floor. Guarded by Doncic. Gets into the paint. Kicks it out in the corner. White steps back. 3-pointer. It's good.
That 3 was right after he had face planted, smashed his whole fucking face into the floor. They took that little injury timeout, and then he came right out and hit a 3. Incredible.
For the rebound. Here's Pritchard. He loves these. Puts it up half court of the buzzer. Bang!
Said, we've been here before. We just need to get it to 10 heading into the 4th quarter. But he said, I told Ford, let go. He said, yes, this is that moment, but we've got to hold on. We don't have a choice.
Inside, another nice feed
from the field in game 4. They're right now they're at 52.
Wow.
Derek White, step back 3. That's
his jumper has been real solid, man.
Their offense struggled. Their defense has been their strength. Irving, still, and the Mavericks still fighting. Doncic going coast to coast, high off the glass is good. Can they get one last incredible run? Lively the rebound, back up. White got a piece.
Wow, give me that.
Tatum, hesitation.
Goodness gracious, what a move.
Hardaway.
He was getting into a rhythm.
Tatum spins, falling away. It's up and good. Tatum the drive. Tatum the finish.
And the Boston Celtics has said that this season, and their actions have reflected that.
Kyrie Irving steps back.
Tough shot.
3. It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner.
So, kind of crazy how as soon as Jayson Tatum started seeing single coverage, that he started getting a whole bunch of buckets in that second half, right? Just throwing that out there. But it was a great team victory. I mean, the Boston Celtics, we've been saying it all along. They've been the best team throughout the season and really throughout the playoffs. We saw different players step up in each round. Tatum has played really well consistently as, in my opinion, their lead guy, the guy that initiates their offense most of the time, the guy that draws a lot of the attention. And even though he did not shoot great through the entire playoffs, I'm sure if you look at his whole shooting for the playoffs as a whole, it's not great. But we come from an era where, I guess especially like for me, right? I come from an era where I grew up watching them call Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, and so on and so forth. They called all of these guards selfish or ball hogs. Carmelo Anthony, the list goes on. And now we have a player who has sacrificed his game, and his team got the ultimate success out of it. And, obviously those guys stepped up. His teammates have to hit those shots. He's fortunate enough to have someone like a Jaylen Brown, who's not only an all-NBA player, not only a great player, but a player that has size. We're in a league right now where everyone is so point guard driven. And the fact that his running mate is a 6'7" guard that can defend, wing player that could defend and also score, it's just like, it's one of those things that it's really, really difficult to come by. A lot of teams would love to have a Jaylen Brown on their team, but obviously that's not the case for them. And then you add a Drew Holiday, you add a Porzingis. Al Horford just kind of holds these guys together. He's so consistent. I mean, I don't know if anyone remembers, like, Al Horford had never shot the 3-ball this well. And we're going to get to him in a second, but just the career that he's had, I just want to give a lot of kudos to these guys. They looked like a team out there. We can say all we want about their 3-point attempts, their blah. However, whatever we want to say, at the end of the day, they're playing teams out there that are also shooting a bunch of threes. They don't have this old school mentality of let's go draw some fouls. They can only play whoever's in front of them. And when anyone gets put in front of them, they put them away. And that's all we can say up until this point, right? We could compare them, later on. But I think right now we got to give this team the credit that they deserve. They only dropped 3 games this postseason. Just what an amazing run that they went on. I want to talk about Derek White, because what the fuck did we watch last night, man? That guy, brother, this has got to be like top tier, one of the fucking, this guy is disgusting, dog.
Down, ball knocked loose. Look at White dive on it.
Happens when he does hit the deck. You look, I'm not looking.
Bang! We need the Mike Breen. Bang!
You so is ugly.
Look at this ugly motherfucker, man.
You're a little.
Like, dog. We were talking about it last night. You need players like Derek White on your team. A straight fucking savage, right? Chipped his tooth. He was telling the broadcast table that two of his teeth were loose, so he's probably getting 2 of them replaced. He probably, if he didn't already, he's getting it done today. Yeah, that guy has been unbelievable. After that play had happened, he hit a bunch of threes. He was all over the place on defense. It's like it gave him a boost of energy. Him getting hurt gave him a boost of energy. And you got to think, you see a bald-headed man with a beard, and then he smiles at you and his fucking tooth is chipped, and he wants to play defense. You are passing the fucking ball. I promise you. You are passing it. You are not going to take him one-on-one. You're not going to start doing boo-bops on him. No, you are passing the fucking ball. That guy is a fucking menace, and we got to give him a lot of credit. In round 1, he was doing a bunch of scoring, really leading the way on offense, making up for Jayson Tatum's lack of shooting. And he's just been incredible ever since then. Got the big block on Lively in the end. Has done well on spots on Luka and Kyrie. I think he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of next year. So keeping him is going to be a key. It's going to be key, and trying to keep this team together as they are. And hopefully they can contend and make a run for multiple titles. It would be fun to see. We see it every decade. And it might just be their turn this decade. So looking forward to seeing Derek White with this team, because I think NKP, but people are using Luka being beat up as an excuse, which is crazy. I mean, It's crazy to me that people use it as an excuse for Luka when Luka himself has never used it as an excuse. But then people are so weird that, and then when the player says, "Oh, I was hurt," then everyone's like, "Oh, you're making an excuse." You can't fucking win. Like in sports, fans are so crazy sometimes that you cannot win. If you complain about being injured, oh, you're bitching and moaning. If you don't complain about it, then someone else will do it for you. And this, like, yes, to your point, Elijah, KP, but you know, it is what it is, right? That's the game that they play, right? They get paid all their millions of dollars because at the end of the day, people gonna talk shit about them. And that's, I think, I've always believed that that's a part of it, right? They almost get paid because of the criticism also that they receive. And moving on to another great player is Jrue Holiday, who is just absolutely incredible this series, and has been incredible. Not always going to shoot great. Not always, you know. Yeah, he said it himself. He played, so you're right. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yep. Exactly, man. You can't win it. But I think that's why folks like us are over here. We try to balance everything out because we look at it from an objective standpoint and we're like, wait a second, wait. We can mention the fact that he was hurt, and we can also mention the fact that it probably wouldn't have mattered, or if it would have mattered, so on and so forth, right? Each situation really is different, and that's why we need to have these conversations. But going back to Jrue Holiday, amazing on defense. One of, if not the best on-ball defender that we have in the NBA. Thank God he wasn't any taller, because he'd be locking up our favorite players if he was any taller. Even worse. But just, he's always making the right play on offense and on defense. Like, he'll do shit where he'll leave Kyrie or he'll leave Luka to go help out because he knows that that player driving isn't going to have an angle to have a pass, so he can safely double team and then get back. Like, he just does so many things. Someone will go clear to the corner and he'll stay knowing that someone's going to be coming in that direction. Like, Jrue Holiday just does so many great things on defense that you cannot teach, right? You can talk about it, you could show it, but the presence of mind to be able to make those reads on the fly and then execute. Right? I'm sure there's a bunch of folks that can make the read. I'm sure you played against guys on 2K, right? Or even in real life. Like, let's say you'll make a pass or some shit, and they'll always say, "Oh, I saw that too." Well, motherfucker, you didn't do anything about it. Well, Jrue Holiday never has that issue because he reads it and reacts and executes. And like I said, he does it on defense, and he does it on offense consistently. He always takes the right shots. He's always looking. He has that point guard mentality still, where he's trying to still get his guys open shots, whether it's driving and kicking it to them. He's patient. He's never rushing himself. Yeah, man, just an all around like really, really great player. We were talking about it last night. He's not going to be one of those guys that gets left off of these conversations when we talk about how important the players are. There's some role players that are valued less because of, how important they are to the team. He will never be one of those players because on both of his championship teams, he was pivotal and key on those runs. So, big shout out to Jrue Holiday. That guy was unbelievable. And we got to give another big shout out to Al Horford, dog. Al Horford, this man has been playing since since when has this fool been playing, man? 07? Cause bruh, there is no fucking way. 2007, 2008. Dog, it is 2024. And this man is just, what a career he's had. And he was much more active too. He looked like the game was so slow for him last night. He was locked in for real. Looked like a coach playing his players back when we were kids. Yeah, no, for real. Drew Holiday definitely looked like that. And even Al Horford, like we saw I was yelling at Dallas like, you're letting Al Horford drive on y'all, but I think a part of that is like they're just so locked in. Like Al Horford seeing Gafford step up. And he's like, wait a second, you came up this high on my old slow ass, I'm gonna go right by you, bump. Like you said, he gave him 3-4 bumps, laid it up, did the same shit, put Derek Lively ass under the rim, laid it up. Like Al Horford, man, absolutely incredible. I remember him on the Atlanta Hawks, right? Just straight going through it, bro. Straight going through it. They were playing the Knicks a lot, so I've seen a lot of Al Horford, and dog, they were like, he couldn't even do nothing in the sense of, because I used to watch Josh Smith and Melo sit there and try to fight for 48 minutes, and Al Horford be on the side like, God damn it. Al Horford, they're like, can y'all motherfuckers stop fighting? He was always just that calm guy, that level-headed dude, that old head. Yeah, congrats to Al Horford, man. Much deserved. He was, like I said, he's been incredible. The fact that he could play this role, the fact that he's made a shift in his role and he can now shoot jumpers, and Kristaps Porzingis can go down and they don't skip a beat with Al Horford on the floor. It's just kudos to this guy, man. Kudos to that guy. I don't even think I get into it, but also, I guess because we had just mentioned it, Kristaps Porzingis gets a motherfucking ring, bro. The unicorn gets one. So congrats to him. He, in my opinion, he's the reason why they won game 1. His points, his energy really like put everybody on 1,000. And, everybody talks about the Willis Reed. I think he had a similar effect, except he was actually out there for much longer and put up more points. And then obviously helped them in game 2. And he did what he was supposed to do. He did his job. He got his team one. So, congratulations to Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, man. Their bigs, incredible. Now we get to the fun part of what happened last night. We for sure get to the fun part now, cause we were tweaking because I didn't know what the fuck I was watching, dog.
The 2024 Bill Russell Finals MVP goes to Jaylen Brown.
That's crazy. Dang, you can't even see Tatum. Not for a little bit.
Jaylen.
Yeah, you earned that.
What does holding this trophy mean to you?
It was a full team effort, and I shared this with my brothers and my partner in crime, Jayson Tatum. He was with me the whole way, so we shared this shit together.
So Jaylen Brown wins the Finals MVP, and here's the thing: even though I think it should have gone the other way, I can't blame them. I think I saw Kyrie Irving's post-game interview, and I wish they made an exception and split it, because these guys are both so good, and honestly they really do feel like two sides of the same coin. Like they couldn't do this without each other. Who's in his final form? You talking about Brown? But Jaylen Brown, I first want to give him with his left. Yeah, you stupid. You've been practicing. That's how you know you've been practicing. It was so natural, dog. It was so natural. He's evolved. Actually, I want to see this again.
The 2020.
Is it with his left? Let's see. Oh, look at that. Lefty. Lucky lefty. Lucky lefty. But, I will say everyone has been trying to tear these two men down. Everyone's been trying. And obviously that's not the point where I'm coming from, right? It's just what I'm seeing on the basketball court. I'm strictly talking basketball. But Jaylen Brown is a deserving MVP. I don't want that to get lost in the middle of this. He was phenomenal. His ability to score consistently on one-on-one matchups, because it's one thing to get put on that island, right? When Jayson Tatum or whatever is operating on strong side, and then the ball swings on the weak side, and you have a one-on-one. And it's one thing to get that one-on-one consistently. It's another thing to get that one-on-one consistently and everyone on the floor knows you're going to score. And that's how it felt like anytime Brown decided to put his head down and try to get to the basket. It felt like anytime he made a decision to go to the rim, he got there and got a good shot up. So we got to give him his credit. He looked like his moves are nothing out of this world. It's never super fast. It's never with a lot of effort, but it's super effective. He always gets a shot off, even if he barely got any room. His one-on-one game. I mean, we've talked about. We can't leave these guys off of it. We've talked about one-on-ones before. I want to see what his ones look like against the best players in the world, because his ones look crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. He hits some tough ass shots, and the defense just looking at him like, what the fuck do we do with that? He's hit some clutch baskets throughout the playoffs. I mean, he's been great. Yeah, he's been absolutely great. And I do think that a part of it is because the NBA, in my opinion, kind of sees Jaylen Brown as a more marketable player than Jayson Tatum. If we're calling it what it is, right? I think the NBA finds Jaylen Brown to be more marketable, whether it's the way that he dresses. He looks very GQ. He always looks very chic. His outfits are all tailored nicely and properly. He looks very different from all of these guys in the NBA that are trying to dress like SGA, right? So Jaylen Brown is a breath of fresh air in that sense. On top of that, he's outspoken on social issues. He stands his ground on things. He's that mold of a player, and maybe the NBA just prefers that right now. We'll talk a little bit about Tatum in a second, but I think that's a part of it. I think the NBA sees him as a more marketable individual. Whether it's his personality, it's his style, I think that's how the NBA views him. So now to get to the Jayson Tatum topic, is it the NBA versus Jayson Tatum? Because I'm starting to think that's what it is. And with
what they gonna say now? What they gonna say now?
It's on the resume now. What a difference that will make in their confidence.
Oh, it certainly will, but the expectations and the pressure for playing for the Boston Celtics.
The NBA versus Jayson Tatum. Now, Jayson Tatum is the fourth player in NBA history He's the fourth player in NBA history to lead his team in points, rebounds, and assists in the NBA Finals and win the title. Oh, and out of those four, he's also the only one that didn't win the MVP. So this is no disrespect to Jaylen Brown. This is just giving credit to Jayson Tatum. He led the team in points, rebounds, and assists. The NBA has to hate him, right? I mean, he wasn't in the top. He wasn't in where was he? Let's see. Where did he end up this year? Where did he end up on MVP voting this year? He was 6th. This man didn't even make top 5 in MVP voting this year, and he was the best player on the best team. 6th. Right? And then the conference finals, he also... Here, let's get into this shit right now. Let's see. In the conference finals, right? You want to take a wild guess as to who led the team during that time period as well? Okay, let's get it right into it. Jayson Tatum, 30 points. Here, well, actually, let me show y'all. It's on 8. Right here, Jayson Tatum, 30.3 points, 6.3 assists, 10.3 rebounds, and Jaylen Brown, 29.8 points. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but 10.3 is more than 5, and 6.3 is also more than 3, and 30.3 is also more than 29.8. And yes, he hasn't been shooting well. Like, this is no secret. Yet and still, there is more to basketball than just shooting the damn ball. I mean, like, what are we doing? Like, let's look at this shit. More stats. For the NBA Finals, Jayson Tatum averaged 22.2, 7.2 assists, 7.8 rebounds. Jaylen Brown averaged 20.8, 5 assists, and 5.4 rebounds. I mean, am I dumb? Like, those Jayson Tatum's numbers are higher, right? Right? Like, we're just going to ignore, 90% from the free throw line for Tatum. Like, we're just going to ignore all of this? Like just going to ignore it. Cool. See, I think this is a product of a couple of things, right? The first one we've spoken about a little bit. I think that because of Russell Westbrook and James Harden, they have tainted what the triple-double is. And nowadays, they like to pick and choose who to... What's the word I'm looking for? Who to celebrate for getting triple-doubles. And we're looking at a player like Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Domantas Sabonis, and anyone else? Because those are the only 3 names that come to mind that when they get a triple-double or a motherfucking double-double, the league goes crazy. Yeah, Elijah said, I'm learning you can't just win anymore. You have to win a certain way for people to recognize you. I think is what you're trying to say there. But yes, I 100% agree. And I don't know what it is. What it is exactly. Is it because they're just... Yeah, but I felt like LeBron, like they still used to give him credit because he didn't quite get triple doubles. Like everyone used to always say, "Oh, he's a walk-in triple double," even though like he wasn't averaging a triple double. While we saw Russ and like Harden got 50-point triple doubles, Russ averaged the triple double. I think it was a little bit different. Although I'm not saying anything about LeBron. Like I felt like when LeBron got some of his, they gave him his credit. Like the one against the Celtics, 48. 18 and 15 or whatever the fuck it was like. But it really feels like as of late, I'm going to just call it what it is. They only give the credit to the white players when they get triple doubles. I'm going to just call it what it is. That's what they've been doing. Like they really only give the credit to Luka and Jokic, if we're really being honest about this, and I'm just trying to call this as objectively as I can, those are the only two players they legitimately give it to. Where it doesn't matter if they shoot the ball well, they shoot the ball poorly, they get a bunch of turnovers. It doesn't matter. If they get a triple-double, it's headlines. But if anyone else, if Russell Westbrook gets a triple-double, oh, well, how did he shoot? Or how many turnovers did he get? And it's the same thing with Harden. And now they've started to pick and choose that with players. And now we saw Jayson Tatum average damn near a triple-double for the NBA Finals. And the NBA just looked the other way. It's like it's an unfortunate thing. And I don't know why this is the case, but it really seems like it stems from the hate towards Harden and Westbrook. And I don't know if it's their personality. They rub somebody the wrong way. I don't know, whatever it is. But I think they were the starting point of that. This is the other part where I think the hate for Jayson Tatum comes from. And I personally saw this really early on when I was watching basketball, right? The turnovers are key. Luka had 7 last night, but would kill Russ. Exactly. Exactly. You know, sometimes they don't talk about it enough with Luka, I think, because he has the... And, you know, we got to expect great playmakers to get turnovers, but... Yeah, exactly. You know, so there's some people we overlook it. And, you know, I think we have to expect great playmakers to get a bunch of assists, but we also have to call it out. Like Jason Kidd and Steve Nash routinely averaged the most turnovers in the league because they were trying to make plays constantly. And with that, you're going to make some mistakes and you're going to make some errant passes. But yeah, so to get back to this Jayson Tatum point, the other reason why I think a lot of people hate Jayson Tatum is because of how much he loves Kobe Bryant. Right? I'll say that one more time. I think the reason that a lot of people hate Jayson Tatum is because of his love for Kobe Bryant. What I mean by that is this. When I was young, watching the NBA, right, through the early 2000s, through 99, 2000 and on, is when I've really been into basketball consistently, right? I witnessed the pushback that Kobe Bryant got. I witnessed the pushback. A lot of people, a lot of fans did not like Kobe Bryant. I know that's probably crazy for some people to think, but there was a time when a lot of people didn't like Kobe Bryant at all. And some people used to say, oh, he's cocky. Some people used to say, oh, he trash talks a lot. Some people say this, that, and the third. When the only reason why people hated Kobe Bryant at the time was because everyone loved Michael Jordan so much. And now here comes a person that also seems to love Michael Jordan, but we can't like him because he's too similar. We can't like him because our love for that one person overcomes it overshadows everything else. No one else matters. This is the craziness that we see with fans. It's only one or the other. They can't like both. And it took a lot of time for Kobe. It took Kobe Bryant embracing the villain role and going through this process before he became a really likable public figure. Yes, players liked him. Yes, people he competed with loved him, but the fans were not always on his side. And when we see Jayson Tatum recreating that iconic shot from half court that Kobe hit on Dwayne Wade, right? When we see him talking about Kobe Bryant all the time and his love for him, I think Devin Booker suffers from something very similar. These players that are very open about their affinity and respect and the way that they've patterned their game after someone, it's as if the fans say, no, you can't love him. Only I love him. And so because of that, now we have to hate on you. Because there's no way in hell you can like Kobe more than I like. I'm a fan. You're a player. You can't like Kobe more than I do. And I think that that's what we're seeing in real time. It's not that Jayson Tatum isn't great. It's not that Jayson Tatum hasn't accomplished phenomenal things. It's that fans hate him because of how much they love Kobe. Oh, and then let's add the fact that, God rest his soul, but Kobe had passed away recently. So now that love for Kobe has now catapulted, right? He's damn near untouchable to folks now. I'm sure there's people out there that don't even want to have a basketball conversation about Kobe being Bryant because he's passed away. And everyone is allowed to have their opinion, but I do believe that that's a part of where this hate comes from. That there's such a love for Kobe, and we're seeing someone like a Devin Booker and a Jayson Tatum kind of deal with that. Oh, and then let's not add the fact that they're the light-skinned boys in the NBA and everybody thinks they're soft. Let's not pretend like everyone wasn't hating on Steph Curry early on too. Like, let's not pretend like these things didn't happen, right? Let's not pretend as if there isn't a stigma against light-skinned players in the league. Like, it is what it is, right? And I think that unfortunately for Jayson Tatum, he just kind of drew the short end of the stick, and he's fighting this uphill battle right now. And maybe he needs to take a page out of Kobe Bryant's book and sort of embrace this villain character as they try to go on a dynastic run. Maybe this is what he kind of needed. He realizes that even an NBA title isn't going to garner love. Maybe he just goes the complete other direction now and just goes villain mode. Win again, see what happens, right? All of a sudden, I mean, if we're watching the last couple years in cinema, everybody loves the villain nowadays in movies, so maybe it'll work out in his favor, kind of like the way it did for Kobe. But yeah, man, it's real unfortunate to see the hate that Jayson Tatum has gotten, because that's all I've seen. Oh, he wants to recreate Kobe's photo. Oh, he's so cringe. Oh, he think he's Kevin Garnett. He think he da. Like, you gotta fans gotta realize that Jayson Tatum was also a fan. The same way we saw all of these things growing up, saw Kevin Garnett, saw Kobe, saw da. He was doing all the same things we were doing. The only difference was he was dropping 50 the next day in his high school basketball game. That's where the real difference lies. But up until he got into college, he was the same as us. I wouldn't, if I'm Jayson, this locked in, nonchalant Jayson. I think where it is at. I loved his response. We'll have to do it again next year. Yeah, no, I agree. But I guess I'm speaking more in the sense of if he wants to become a marketable person, right? Maybe that's the route that he has to go, Elijah, right? Because this Mr. Nice Guy shit, like, oh, I'm this quiet, quaint, I don't bother nobody. I don't say shit to nobody. It hasn't worked out for him in terms of the marketing, right? And I think he needs to now make himself a little bit more marketable. So now he's in these conversations, MVP, GOAT, like all of these things that, has been cracked open now because of the NBA championship. I think now it's on him to take advantage of it and make himself marketable. And I think one way that he could do that is to kind of embrace this kind of villain role, even if it is just a persona, even if it's just a character that they create on screen to sell him. Because obviously this other way hasn't worked out, even though I love it, even though I think he's being true to himself, and I think, he needs to stay true to himself, but it's a business and it's entertainment, right? And I think if he wants his money to multiply and he wants to give, Lil Deuce an even bigger house, this might have to be what he has to do, or he could just keep doing what he's been doing. He got his contract and just go play basketball and go about his day. But if he wants to take that next step and be in some of those conversations and be more relevant in some of those conversations, right? Let's say he wins a title next year. What if people still don't give a fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? He could fall into something like that. And I think a part of it is, like I said, he needs to put himself out there in a way that people can connect to and people can relate to. Because for whatever reason, being a good father is not connecting to anybody. So fuck that, apparently. Like, what the fuck? Like, only thing I know about Jayson Tatum is he's good at basketball and that he's a good dad. And apparently that's not enough. So, amen. Hey. Now, moving on. That was very long-winded Jayson Tatum topic that we were on. And I guess it leads me to, we've kind of touched on it, the favoritism that exists in the NBA, right? And for me, it's ironic because obviously we were talking about this with the WNBA, and this is something that we all know exists in the NBA, like favoritism towards a Luka and a Jokic, or even a player like what's his name, like a LeBron James. These players that have gotten favoritism over time, and now we're seeing a player that I thought was kind of in the good, like, all right, I don't know how to word this properly. Luka Doncic, I think, ironically enough, is a player that the NBA favors, but he's a player that referees hate, which is what makes it kind of weird, right? Because all we see is Luka highlights everywhere. Everyone's talking about him. But then you watch the game and the referees don't want to give him calls. The referees are like turning their back to him, and it's because he's kind of a dickhead to them. Excuse me. But, I do think that he still gets some of that favoritism. And we've seen it go the other way with a Russell Westbrook, with a James Harden, where people almost forget how great they were. Right? People kind of see all the things that they've done and they've forgotten. We have Colin Cowherd who was saying Kevin Durant is irrelevant. It blows my fucking mind. Oh, another person that the league favors, Rudy fucking Gobert. Because how the fuck is he a 4-time defensive player of the... I'm sure that the NBA would have loved to see Luka get this title. Even though they know that he probably wasn't going to get it, I'm sure they would have loved if Luka got this award. And it's funny because Luka and Tatum are both on Jordan brand. And now I'm curious as to what commercial or ad they would have put out for Luka versus Tatum, because I'm sure it was different. And I'm sure it would have had something to do with like a GOAT or being in the GOAT or in that, like, you know, it would have been a totally different thing. And it just goes to show you the favoritism that exists in the NBA and has existed in the NBA. But yeah, just to kind of close that little topic out. Now, moving on to the Dallas Mavericks, during Luka's post-game press conference, he had this to say, which I thought was interesting. So let's take a look at it.
There's a quick turnaround time before.
First of all, what is this noise that this man makes?
There's a quick turnaround time. Before
what the fuck is that?
There's a quick turnaround time before the Olympic qualifying tournament. What do you?
I want to talk about what's next, man. I have some decisions to make. Just trying to get a little bit healthier. We'll talk. We have interviews in 2 days, right? So I'll give you an answer then.
So I don't want to blow this out of proportion. But that was really interesting to me that he said that. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, he's talking about his national team for the Olympics. And when he refers to having a decision to make, he also says,
some decisions to make, just trying to get a little bit healthier.
Trying to get a little bit healthier, and that's why he has decisions to make. Yeah, bratty thing to say in my opinion. It should be nothing, so I overlooked it. Don't believe it. But he knows not to say that. Wait, you're talking about Luka right now, Elijah? You thought what he said was bratty?
What's next, man?
I actually think it's the opposite. Cause if what I'm to assume is true, and he's talking about the national team and the decision to make regarding his health, to me what he's saying is, I need to make a decision on whether I'm going to play in the Olympics this summer or if I'm going to prioritize my health and fitness going into next season, trying to make a finals run. That and probably and obviously I added a whole bunch of shit into there, but that to me is what I think he was trying to say. I think he meant that he has a decision to make on whether he's going to play this summer or not. And it could be a little bit of a sign as to how seriously he is now taking the NBA. Maybe this run in the playoffs, going to the finals, was enough to get him to say, whoa. I'm still young. I can go there in 4 years, but I need to get healthy this summer so we can make a finals run again next year. That's what I think he's referring to. I don't think he's necessarily talking about off-season moves or trades or signings. I think he's literally talking about he needs to make a decision in 2 days if he's going to be on his Olympic team or not. Which, if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, if you're a Luka fan, I guess if you're a Mavericks fan, really, you've got to be excited about, because maybe it's a sign that he's taking this way more seriously than he has been. Understanding that he's probably already given a lot of his time to his national team, and that, you know, he could take some time off, especially with all the injuries that he's been dealing with, to not put his body through more, rest up and get healthy. Because I like the back half that he will give you an answer later. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what he was saying, because he said, you know, he has interviews in 2 days, and I'm assuming he's talking about his national team. Yeah, I genuinely think that's what he's referring to. And if he sits the Olympics out this year, I think that should be a sign to the rest of the league that they gotta watch out, because you're going into next year where Luka didn't win MVP this year. Luka didn't win the NBA Finals. Oh, and with no awards to show for the season that he had, no trophy, no hardware, right, outside of his All-NBA team. Now he's hurt and can't play for his national team. Oh, I would be scared if I was the league next year. Wait a second. Wait. So you mean to tell me that man got none of those major awards, didn't win the title, and his path to get there, he's hurt, and now he can't play with his boys on the national team. Oh, he gonna raise hell on the NBA next year. If he don't play this summer and his reason is to rest up, Luka might come into the season next year with a six-pack, and everyone's going to have to fucking run for the mountains. Because that's what this shit sounded like to me. Now, obviously, if you're a Luka fan and a basketball fan, you'd love to see him play more basketball. You'd love to see him go against Team USA. But obviously, if he's hurt, don't fucking play. Like, it's very, very simple. If you're hurt, if you're injured, if you're nursing any injuries, just don't play. Like, you guys have a legitimate chance to compete for titles still. And obviously, a lot of things got to go right, and a lot of things got to, you guys do have to make some adjustments and changes, but y'all have an opportunity to compete, and y'all should take advantage of that, starting with getting healthy. So hopefully this means that Luka does have the right mindset moving forward. And this gave him a taste of what he wants, right? That's all you could hope for. Now, like we said, Kyrie Irving had 15 points last night. And I'm sure a lot of people are jumping to this, asking whether or not Kyrie Irving is enough. I think the obvious answer is no, right? And that's not, this is his defining moment, like JP going to the Wizards. Will he sink or swim? He's good now, but could be great. He is very close. I agree, man. And Luka, this decision could change a lot, right? It'll show us what he's prioritizing. And obviously it's not everything. He could go play the national team and still win a championship later on, and this will all be for nothing. However, this is what we're gonna do, is speculate, right? Because this is all the information that we have. But yes, I do agree. He's very close. He's gonna start teetering, right? And he's really young too. Let's give him that. But for Kyrie Irving, is Kyrie Irving enough as your second best player? And I'll repeat, probably not. And I think this is really simple, right? Because if we look at Kyrie Irving on those Cleveland Cavaliers teams, if it was just him and LeBron James and the rest of those guys, it probably wouldn't have been enough anyway. Kevin Love was the person that, in my opinion, like, he tightened everything up, because he was a big that now took away the other team's bigs, because he could stick in the corner and shoot threes. And not to mention the fact that he was a 20 and 15 guy, 25 and 15 guy on the Minnesota Timberwolves. He wasn't a role player. He wasn't a fill-in guy. He was a legitimate all-star. And the Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks currently don't have another all-star as their third option, because that's how it's always worked for Kyrie Irving, right? my complaint about Kyrie Irving has always been, if you use the eye test, you'd say, oh my God, this guy's one of the fucking 5-10 best players in the league. And then you go look at his stats, and it's 22 a game, 23 a game. Got it up some years to 25, 27. But it always left you kind of wanting more when you look at his numbers, because you're like, fuck. When you see him have some of these incredible passing games, you're like, shit, well, if you're going to average 22, 23 points, like, get 9 assists. Right? Or if you're going to average 4 or 5 assists, go get 30 points. But I think his style of play, where he's always trying to make the right play, has hurt him. Right? He's never been a player that's going to force a bunch of shots, force himself to get into a rhythm the way we see scorers typically handle and manage games, right? I saw Carmelo Anthony day in and day out for the New York Knicks, and I can tell you right now, that motherfucker was trying to score 20 points every first quarter. And there were a lot of first quarters where he did that. To nobody's surprise, he was always in rhythm, because the motherfucker was going to shoot it. And I feel like Kyrie Irving, you want to call it a motor, you want to call it an aggression, he's just never been that. I guess he's sages, he's all about peace. I guess it's not in his personality. If we look at his personality, if we really dissect his personality and who he is, he's this really peaceful guy, kumbaya, loves people, respects people. He has this side of him that's super competitive, but he's not someone that taps into that for 48 minutes of a basketball game. At least not the person that's trying to kill you, right? That's in him too. He's a great player, but that person that's a little crazy, that'll just fucking do shit to, like, just to do it. Sometimes I feel like I wish he had more of that in his personality, because he would go and do certain things a little bit differently, but it's just never been him. And moving forward, if we are to take into account what we've seen work for Kyrie Irving in the past, they're going to need a third all-star. He may be getting too peaceful. Well, Elijah, the other part too is I think he's always been peaceful, but now he's 34? Like, it's just a totally different... It's just 32. Yeah, he's 32 now. Like, yeah, all that stuff is great, and I understand his experience has helped his game get better also, but at the same time, when you're just talking about physically trying to take on some of these guys, it's just difficult. And I think they're going to need a third all-star to get over the hump, because obviously Luka and Kyrie were enough to get into the NBA Finals, but now they're missing a punch, right? And they need to go and pack a punch to be able to compete. So is Kyrie Irving enough? I think he's shown that he's a really, really great player, but when it comes to winning championships and titles, he is not enough in the long run. And they're going to need another all-star to help out him and Luka. And that's no disrespect. That's not a shot. Hell, LeBron needed 2 all-stars. Right? Like, let's not, Hall of Fame, let's not get it twisted. Everyone needs help. And unfortunately for the Dallas Mavericks, they came up short just because I don't think they had enough talent with them. And is there anything on here? No. And, hey, man. Hey. The Dallas Mavericks have gone home. The Boston Celtics are your NBA champion. We made it through the fucking playoffs, dog. We made it. We made it. Now we got to wait fucking like 4 months to go watch some more regular season NBA games. But the nice thing is, right, like you said yesterday, Elijah, we have the draft coming up, we have preseason, obviously, and then even before that, we'll be covering the WNBA, Caitlin Clark's career for the most part, if we're being honest. And then we do get some USA basketball in August, so I'm really excited for that. Can't wait to see that. But hey, man, we fucking did it. Thank y'all for hanging out with me for the last couple weeks, going through the NBA season. This is just the start, man. We're gonna take this shit to the moon, like I said. This is only the beginning. You know, Elijah, anyone else out there, please give me some suggestions on anything you'd want for me to like cover, any kind of topics, any kind of content that y'all would like to see. We'll try to cover some of them. I have some ideas that I'm working on as well too. I'm really trying to take this shit to the next level. We were able to get through the playoffs, and I appreciate y'all for that. Just talking about this stuff is really, really fun. But yeah, man, we fucking made it. So what's gonna happen now is I think I'm gonna take the rest of the week off from, you know, getting on stream and doing videos, and I'll be back on by Monday to talk more about this shit. But hey, we made it. We made it through the finals, man. We made it through the playoffs, and it was fun as fuck. So I appreciate every single one of y'all. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit, because it helps the channel out. It'll help it grow, and I really, really appreciate that. And as always, you could have been anywhere on the internet, but you were here with me, and I really, really appreciate y'all for that. So thank y'all for hanging out with me, watching, talking, and I will see y'all next week. It's been a phenomenal playoff. Shout out to these teams. Shout out to y'all. Thank you guys again, as always. Like I said, I will be back next Monday, so we'll see you in a week, big dog. Yeah, see you in a week. I'll be back on Monday. We'll talk about some more games. We'll just get on here and bullshit it if we have to, but we'll figure some of this out, man. So again, thank y'all. See y'all in a week. I appreciate y'all so much. Peace, man. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of y'all day. Thank y'all. Peace.